Guys, welcome to another episode of the Real Football Talk. As always, I have Adiba with me. Adiba, how are you?
Yeah, really good. Um, yeah, nice weather today, contrasting from yesterday, but yeah,
Definitely from Friday and Saturday. Yeah, much better today, isn't it?
yeah,
Looks like
uh,
coming.
yeah. I can see like, your energy levels are up.
Huh? Yeah. Definitely. Good day at the office.
That's good.
I can see you down. I can see you down. It's okay.
Hardly.
It's okay.
You
Uh,
would like me to be down, but I'm the same.
no, I'm likely to be like annoyed and yeah, more passionate. That's the difference. Um, but yeah, let's get going. Let's start at the St James's Park where Arsenal won 2-0. I mean, what a brilliant performance, I would say. Definitely rode our luck at times, but yeah, brilliant fighting performance from Arsenal. What did you make of it?
So good performance from both teams. Really good game. I think yeah, Arsenal edged it in quality. And yeah, it kind of all came for me down to um, the overturning of the penalty decision. Just because that start from Newcastle, they just absolutely blitzed.
Mm,
So then Arsenal were holding on, and then the excitement of being awarded the penalty and then it being taken away, it just kind of dampened everything. And then Arsenal, a few minutes later go and take the lead. But that was the first time. It's like they needed that breather while
yeah,
VAR was in to get, Arteta get his instructions across and
yeah.
get them all settled and, get it into them to be brave and to play their passing game. And then, you know, boy, did Odegaard step up.
Yeah. What a
And I,
finish.
I and I was surprised. I mean, I thought him and Jorginho were amazing. I thought Jorginho was very good.
I thought it was, yeah.
Odegaard was the one that, for me, stepped up.
Mm,
He made the difference. Even before the goal, he was just picking up the ball, playing really intended, taking it under pressure, making things happen, playing with the energy. There's quite a few misplaced passes into him, but he still makes it work. His footwork, readjusts it, gets it going. I just thought he was fantastic.
mm.
And then he deserved the goal because he was stepping up and making it happen.
No, definitely. But yeah, I agree. I think him and Jorginho were the two players that definitely stood up. And I think the decision to play Jorginho over Partey, most people would have probably gone for Partey because of his physical attributes, right? But decision to play Jorginho has worked off in Arteta's favor because he was able to use his experience, and you can see him shouting on the pitch, getting people in around, and that experience paid off, and his composure on the ball also helped with having Odegaard next to him. So both of them enabled us to kind of get a foothold in the game.
But they finally got an organizer, communicator, leader behind the halfway line.
Yeah,
So I think that's what they really needed. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely in this game, I felt had a big effect on the way um, the way Newcastle played. Newcastle struggled, couldn't dominate because of Jorginho more than any other player.
yeah,
And yeah, I felt that was the difference between the two teams, and that's where you see the quality. Because I understand why Eddie Howe's going for putting Alexander Isak on the left,
yeah.
but for me, these are the type of reasons why Eddie Howe just won't take that next step because as much as Wilson is playing, good and is scoring goals, um, if when you watch the matches, it's Alexander Isak that's making Newcastle tick from an
Yeah,
attacking point of view.
yeah,
And to take your best weapon, the guy who really does bring everyone into the game, And like you look at Joe Lint, all these guys getting goals. A lot of it is because of the selfless work of Isak
Mm.
and the way he dominates the centre backs or creates space
Even
for
like
the
the
other.
pre assists, he does some of them. So yeah.
Yeah. So I just think, yeah, and you can tell he just got tired from playing that wing role, and he played well. He done really good there.
Mm.
But the difference between the two teams was the work rate of Wilson and Gabriel Jesus. Jesus, I thought, played poor the whole game, but off the ball, he was
Yeah, yeah.
titanic. Battle,
Yes.
and at the end of the day, he man marked Guimaraes as much as he could, and he made it difficult. He came into midfield, he defended, he was at left back. Wilson done
It
nothing.
was
He was
everywhere.
as lazy as they come.
It was
And
everywhere.
I was shocked that Wilson didn't get hooked a lot earlier because he offered nothing in that game. The
Mm.
two players I thought Newcastle were minus two players, Wilson and Willock. Willock done absolutely nothing the whole game. He hid, he was never showing for the ball. Um, I just thought that both of them just were
Yeah,
poor.
maybe in that prospect, but I mean, Willock was making great runs in behind, and he had the better chances for them. So
Man, it's not about
he's not doing it in one way, but he was offering in
the
a
fact
different
the
way,
game
right?
isn't about only coming alive and you're attacking, bro. It's
Yeah.
about building up, being actually a player on the pitch when you're getting dominated, not when you're in attack and you just keep doing overloads.
Mm.
Yeah, great, do an overload. Fantastic. Doesn't make you a good player when you.
I'm not saying
Oh,
about good player. I'm saying
yeah, but
in
you're
the
playing
same
against
game, do
Arsenal,
anything.
isn't it? You're playing
Yeah,
against Arsenal. You're playing against your old club. Step up.
yeah. Mm.
Show yourself. Every time there's that battle in midfield, Willock was the weakest thing. You got Guimaraes doing, fighting off. You got Jesus flying in. You got Xhaka flying. You got everyone giving 100%. You got Willock just watching, having a picnic. Don't want to get his toes dirty. Like so it's a midfield battle. It's an
Yeah.
exciting game end to end. It's a big, big game. You had feistiness,
Listen,
attitude,
he
people
don't
kicking with each other.
he doesn't wanna kick off with his former brothers, isn't it? Do
Yeah,
you
but
get me? It's love, isn't it?
who cares? Who cares? Yeah, I thought, yeah, him and just Wilson just weren't in keeping with the quality of the match and
That's what I was gonna say.
commitment to every other player.
I was surprised the fact that maybe Eddie Howe, seeing how the game was, didn't put even at halftime Isaac through the center and getting him to pin up against maybe Keo and dominate him, because that would have actually caused Arsenal issues. But yeah, he kind of left it on until quite late on.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Keo seemed to handle the physical stuff quite well,
Yeah.
especially early. I thought he was quite good.
I don't mean the physical aspect. I mean, as in the way Isak ball brings the ball down and brings other people into play. Uh, Obviously, running backwards would have been a problem for them.
Yeah, I felt that was the problem. I mean, recently Gabriel's got mistakes in him. There was a couple of times when the ball got played to him from Zinchenko, where he really made a mistake or just got away with the sloppy pass. I don't think they played into Gabriel's hand by playing everything in front of him.
Mm,
Uh, Wilson just did not do enough. But generally, I really felt in a tight game, those are the little things that make a difference, because he didn't work hard enough. He didn't sweat at all today. He didn't
yeah,
make it, and Jesus, as much as I thought he was quite poor even on the ball. He still battled and he still gave
yeah,
Botman and Shah, a battle, and even Ramirez, and it was everywhere. So
yeah,
it just shows you the difference. Sometimes you don't have to be top form, and that could be down to you have to give credit to the opposition, but that doesn't mean you don't give 100% and make a
yeah.
difference. So
Mm. Um,
yeah, that's my win session at the way about Newcastle, but yeah, definitely let's put some positivity on Arsenal and the character and the way they played. I thought, wow, really good football again. Really liked. They look clinical, didn't they? I thought Martinelli was again superb. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's an impressive performance that midfield. Jorginho and Odegaard. That's a lethal mix because they couldn't get close to Jorginho the whole game.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's why Odegaard was getting the spaces and the ball to affect the game the way he wanted to.
yeah.
So definitely that's a good combo and a good addition.
It's that buying that 1 extra second whilst the press is happening from Newcastle that Jorginho was able to do. Sometimes he was doing they were almost doing a wall pass into him, or sometimes Jorginho was knocking it around and then getting it back again. So then he's got that 2 3 seconds, and it's that small difference when a team is pressing like that makes the difference in terms of in those critical games,
Yeah,
right?
it makes a bigger difference when Wilson ain't putting in a shift. So he didn't close Jorginho once, didn't try and cut at the angle, the ball into Jorginho.
Mm,
He was just lumbering to the defender on the ball, really rarely cut out any angles,
yeah.
you know,
I,
just
I I also like the
I
fact that Arteta realized the problems of Zinchenko and then brought on Kieran Tierney earlier on than he usually does, because I thought that would have been an issue for us, but because again in the second half at the beginning Zinchenko was getting done, and then he brought on Kieran Tierney and made some great tackles and great interceptions that helped us, as in break the rhythm of Newcastle or gain any sort of foothold and to dominate us.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be underplaying. I thought there were moments Newcastle did dominate. I think, like I said, for me, the difference was the quality in the attacking play or
Mm.
the attacking, because if the opportunities Murphy had, if that was Saka, he would have got 2 goals today. He hit the post when he should have scored, and then the other chance where he cut in, he was clean through. He didn't take the shot. He took a poor touch, took it more onto his weaker foot,
And
the right
even
foot,
yeah,
then got done by Martinelli. And again, that was the difference. You see, you know, Arsenal's best players, Arsenal's attackers, all of them put a shift in. There is no one that you have to tell them, to track back or to mark their man or to be in. I mean, the amount of times Martinelli won the ball today,
yeah.
when he tackles, he always gets the ball, but he's there. There's no slouching from him.
But
Really
even if
impressive.
he's not there, if he goes into central zone, you see Jesus flying back. So there's a good connection there, and yeah, definitely agree. Does that put? I mean, Gary Neville saying that puts a bit more pressure and emphasis into the Everton game for Man City, but does it really do that? Because I mean,
I think it does. It does.
mm,
At the end of the day, Everton away, no matter where they are, is tough because Everton's that type of club. They rise to the occasion when it comes to things like a team trying to win a title. It's a bit like Crystal Palace. They love being party poopers. It's like the crowd, the fan base, they're up for it. They're up for ruining the status quo. So I do think that's a tough game. One of the hardest games I think is that Everton game.
yeah,
So
yeah.
especially coming after a game against Madrid. I don't know if that's in Madrid or
I can have a look. Let
but,
Yeah,
but either way, I just think that's a tough game, a real tough game to play, and it does add that pressure. As in, not as much if they had taken the top spot again,
mm,
because ultimately Man City can lose and they're still ahead.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's not as much as it should be, but yeah,
Still something. So the game, yeah, they're playing away at Madrid on
yeah.
Tuesday. On Tuesday.
And then they play again Sunday. Yeah, so I think yeah, definitely yeah, it's a pressure game. Adds more pressure definitely because they would have been hoping Newcastle
Get a result.
get a result. So and that would even make things even more easier. So
we need Man City somehow to drop 4 points.
When us are winning all their games.
Huh? Yeah, yeah, of course. But I'm saying, yeah, so gotta hope. But again, obviously, Man City played Leeds at home. Was it 3-1 at the end? I think it was
2-1, 2-1.
2-1. Yeah. I mean, great finishes from Gundogan. Sam Allardyce being back and saying obviously, he's the equal of Pep Guardiola and Klopp. What did you make of it? All of it.
It's good management. I mean, why should he admit anyone's better than him?
Mm,
Just imagine what kind of message you're giving to your players if you straight away start praising the opposition manager. You're going there to win. You're in a relegation battle.
mm,
You just come to a club and and said we can beat anybody. Why the heck in your first press conference are you going to praise the opposition manager? You're going to praise. You're going to play. I
mm.
thought it was a very good manager. That's the difference. He psychologically got the wide, and you know that first time they got completely, totally pummeled. They should have been 5-6 nil.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
chances Haaland missed.
yeah.
Close to the bar. I mean,
I was surprised it wasn't worse. Yeah.
yeah. And Leeds looked terrible. I was thinking, what the heck has Allardyce done? He's actually made them worse. But second half, they did show a bit of fight. They attacked a bit more. They showed a little less respect. They were a bit, they got the direct game working better. And yeah, they made a go of it. And even though still City had loads of chances, they should have won. 2-1 is a positive result. You feel like you're in the game. Just that feeling of trying to nick an
But I
equalizer.
mean, he can also switch it in a way where he says he won the second half. So like, look, this is the template. We done it against City. Let's go and build on that and go one step further, right?
Yeah, there's no harder fixture than City away.
City, yeah,
Yeah, and he had them, panicking. Pep had to make subs and
yeah,
six things, and you could tell he wasn't happy. His Pep was slumbered in the thingy, in his chair, and he was not happy.
yeah. But I mean,
And
Leeds,
that's why and you can see his frustration when he's punishing Haaland, while the game is going
yeah,
about taking the penalty. It's like, and yeah, if we didn't want him to give the penalty away, well, you know what? Guess what? They took so long from the time he gave the ball to Gundogan,
yeah,
the time the penalty got taken. Why didn't you open your mouth and say it then? No, Haaland took the penalty. After he misses, what's the point in making?
true, true,
So,
reactive.
so yeah, I think he's making the point because that's probably actually what he wanted, but he didn't totally mind at the time.
Mm.
Maybe that's clever man management, as in
But
he
maybe
would
it's a
have.
long-term thing, right? It's a long-term thing, as in like if I've told you to do something, you do it because, or else you see, look, this is what happens.
Yeah, I think he's trying to just develop the mentality of Haaland in terms of this is business and they say this is where you go into winner mode, and obviously Haaland hasn't won an awful lot, so
No, no.
he does need to learn what it takes and what kind of mindset you have to have, and I suppose that's what Pep's trying to drill into him.
Mm. I mean, Allardyce gonna get a big payout if he does keep Leeds up, and I mean they got 3 fixtures left: Newcastle at home, West Ham away, and then Spurs at home. Can they do it? Can Allardyce do it?
They definitely got a better chance with Allardyce because you can see the under Javi
Yes, yeah,
Gracia, the wheels had fallen off. I mean, they didn't know. It was strange because they were playing two different styles and they kept switching within the game,
yeah,
and they completely, they'll always start one half really compact and then the second half high press gun ho.
yeah.
You know, first half they'll go high press gun ho, second half they'll go compact. I think maybe Grazia tried, maybe changing things a bit too much and got too confusing for the players. And then by the end, the defending was a shambles. I
They,
still worry about the way they I mean, those defenders are fixated on pressing the striker
Yeah.
such a point that it's ridiculous. I mean, Sam Allardyce really does need to, if he's to have a chance, he'll definitely need to change that because yeah, the chances they gave away. I mean, City had more clear-cut chances in this game. I'd love to know what the expected goals were because
I'll
as
check it up
clear-cut
right
as you
now.
can get, they're
Mm.
as clear-cut as you can get the chances. I mean, and they're all in the center of the box. It's like, where are the defenders? There's no defender inside.
Yeah.
That's how those so he probably has a defense that is completely at lost, and I think
So
that's the priority.
the XG for Man City was only 2.65.
Yeah, I think it should have been a lot more the
Yeah.
chances he had.
But yeah, definitely agree with you. The fact that I think with Sam Allardyce and the experience he has, even though the last time he came into the Premier League to save someone, they did go down. But I think yeah, definitely better chance than Garcia. Who, I mean, maybe they should have made this call earlier when they took on Garcia, because Garcia did start off okay, but then yeah, like you said, the wheels came off very quickly. Um,
The thing is, Grazia, to be fair, in his statement when he left, he made quite a few valid points in the sense that when he took over, they were 19th.
yeah.
When he left, they're out of the zone, and out of all the teams in that bottom relegation fight, they still had he still won the most points out of any of them in that time.
Valid points, but
I think
you
about
gotta
11 points he got in
yeah,
that
but
time.
you got to look at some of the losses against the teams you are playing in the relegation zone and the scoreline. So also got to factor that in.
Yeah. And already Allardyce has shown he's not afraid to make tough decisions by dropping Meunier,
Yeah,
who for years I don't understand why
great decision.
he gets rumored with like so many clubs, Arsenal, Man United.
United won him.
No, please.
Come on,
I,
man. De Gea
I
2.
wouldn't want him in my reserve team.
De Gea 2.0.
Yeah, Lloris 2.0. The game is Lloris 2.0.
Uh, it might end up at Tottenham Hotspur. You never know. It's there. It's there.
I think everyone's gone mad about his ability with the ball at his feet. Which, to say, to every match I've seen, he always messes up anyway, even with the ball at his feet. I think half these stats that people look at these scouts, they're not really
Yeah,
watching
but
them.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, from every time I've seen Leeds, one of the major issues is even in the box, because he one does not command that box at all. Um, made lots of handling errors that he does, puts pressure into his own team. So that doesn't help in any ways. Even though you might be good with your feet, but
Definitely, and I think yeah, dropping him straight away was the right thing. Rubbles played quite well. Couldn't do nothing.
I mean, both the goals he couldn't do nothing. I mean, I thought they were great finishes. The first one, the way he bent around the defender, classic Gundogan. And the second one again, showed it one way and swung it around the other side.
Yeah, definitely. I
Uh,
think yeah, I mean that's definitely the first goal tricked Rubbers for the second, and that's how you see the intelligence Gundogan.
midfield's dream goals, isn't it? Those are the ones just passing into the net. But let's move on, Adu. Let's move on to Manchester United, who played West Ham away. 1-0 loss, howler from David De Gea. What did you make of it? I mean, second half, I thought West Ham were excellent.
I look second is this that's West Ham. They nick a goal and they want to stay in their shape and they want to counter attack. Their whole game, even last 2 years when they've been successful, has been that same formula. They nick a goal at the set piece,
Yep.
and then they play on the counter, low block, and it worked out perfect for them getting that goal
Yeah.
because ultimately it let them play in their comfort zone, which is and because everyone gets behind the ball and everyone gets behind the midfield, it becomes really congested and difficult for for teams to create chances. So I thought, yeah, I thought, United again, Ten Hag, is changing too much, and we said it a few weeks ago. We praised him for winning games basically on tactics, but then we also said we've seen it before where managers then over rely on just tactics and completely stabilize the rhythm of the team.
Yeah.
It works when you're under the cosh and you got games in hand and injuries and suspension. That's when players can accept all these changes and weird ones and strange ones. But when you have a lot more of your better players playing, when you put Weghorst in the 10, while Marshall was injured, while all these players were injured,
It's
Sancho
fair.
was on his break trying to, get his mind right. It all Everyone accepted it because there's a guy giving his all. Now you're dropping good players, good form, um, fit and healthy, and you're actually choosing workhorse over them. You can just tell the whole dynamics of the team just was wrong.
Mm.
You know, and every time they played Fernandez on the left, it's never worked. And I don't get it. And I just think there comes a point when you have to be fair and say Ten Hag is getting it wrong. He's destabilizing the team right now because at the end of the day you got a makeshift back line, a
Yeah.
weak back line that lacks physicality. At the end of the day, we saw what Antonio did today. Soon as it's a physical striker, Luke Shaw gets exposed a bit more. And to say the truth, you can't say he's playing bad, but just hasn't got the height and the muscle. Like soon as the ball goes out, Antonio's winning every single one of them.
Yeah, but
Uh,
come on, man. You can't expect a left, like, let's be honest. I mean, he's done well against other teams as centre back, but you can't expect him to win a battle against
and
Antonio, man.
he
Come on.
done well against strikers that don't play physical.
Yeah.
So against Tottenham, soon as Harry
Okay.
Kane posted that on him, exposed him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Today, Antonio. And then the problem is Lindelof is soft as it is. He doesn't go battle. So then you end up with that problem where your defense is slightly makeshift, slightly weak. Stop messing around with your attack. And no matter what, Fernandez is your best attacking player. He
Yeah.
makes happen. Chucking him on the left doesn't make sense.
Look,
So
look. The first,
I think Ten Hag, needs to take shoulder some of the blame for the dysfunction of United right now.
but the first moment, I think I saw in the second half that Fernandez came into the 10. He straight away created the chance for Rashford.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, I don't get that. I don't get like United. Like I said, when you're struggling, when you got issues, fine, do all the tactical things. But you shouldn't be worried about Suchek. You're Man United. Who cares about Suchek and his height? What do you need? Weghorst is probably worst quality is his heading. He's actually terrible at bringing players into the game.
mm.
So doesn't matter what height he's got. So I just think, yeah, just sends the wrong message. You could tell it's the players. That squad isn't united right now. At the
But
end of the game, you had Fernandez and Casemiro one ear of the pitch moaning. You had Anthony on his own moaning. You got
he was
uh,
moaning when he came off as well.
Sancho. Yeah, you got Sancho and other players moaning in a different section. You can just tell that team has lost that unity a bit and
Mm.
probably not being
But
helped by how against some of the decisions he's making.
is this a cause for concern? Because obviously now Liverpool right on their tail, 1 point behind, even though they played a game more. Um, is that a cause for concern for United and top four?
It's not really because I think United have struggled away from home. A lot of games they've won through tactics away from home,
Yeah,
not through
yeah.
good. At home they've been convincing most of the time,
Mm.
but they've struggled all season away from home. And yeah, I mean these away games, yeah, they're the cause for concern. But I still feel they have enough. 4 points with about 4 games to go.
Yeah.
is a good cushion, and I think yeah, it's not just a
It's
concern.
it's not 4 points.
They're in
It's
the
1 point. It's 1 point.
but if they win their game in hand, then it's four
Mhm.
into.
Yeah.
And if they play at home, most likely they would win that game in hand.
So
So
the yeah, that's what I was gonna say. My next point was gonna be the good thing for United is out of their 4 games, 3 of their games are at home and
yeah,
one away. So and even the game away is at Bournemouth. So and the teams they're facing are Wolves, Bournemouth, Chelsea, and then what's the last one? Sorry, I've lost who the last one is. I think Fulham. Fulham the last game of the season. So
yeah. Either way, I just think Ten Hag has shown that he can do enough to get a result. I mean, even if you look at the performance against Brighton, it's a good game. Well, United had really good chances. As
yeah,
much as Brighton played well, United played well too. And United, I think, should have put away their chances. But Brighton, again, which team hasn't Brighton played well against?
yeah,
But,
yeah.
you know, out of all the teams that's played against Brighton, United were one of the ones that were, really brave against them,
Mm,
really aggressive, really had lots of chances against them. As much as they created, so did United. So I just think, yeah, I'm not too worried about the fact that whether they get the top four. But yeah, there's no margin for error, and maybe that's what the team needs. It needs that edge. They've dropped off. You can tell, from the first minute they just looked off the pace,
yeah,
and and yeah, and I think there's a case for calling out Casemiro. I mean, he's been poor the last 2 or 3 games. He's been off the pace, positionally poor. Everyone keeps praising him, but you have to be honest and criticize when the performances aren't good or aren't up to standards. And yeah, definitely is a big mistake not playing Sabitzer today because he had the energy and the urgency.
yeah.
As he came on, he's the only player to actually play with a bit of urgency.
But
So yeah,
you're saying put Weghorst in, yeah, right? Why not play Sabitzer? Because he's a physical unit too. So it's not
and
like
like I
they
said,
have the solution.
obviously overthought the Suchek problem. He
Yeah,
overthought it. And funnily enough, Suchek barely attacked.
yeah.
He stayed in defense. Declan Rice was attacking more. So,
Or that run. I mean,
maybe in that sense, yeah. But
almost.
it's all right if a defensive midfielder is sitting back, but
Yeah,
it's not good if your number 10 is playing defensive to pick up the defensive midfielder. I mean, one's on the pitch to score goals and the other one is to stop goals. So Suchek was doing his job staying back and marking Weghorst. What the heck is Weghorst on the pitch marking a defensive midfielder for? So, yeah,
oh god.
strange, strange
do,
decision.
do you think West Ham should have had a penalty though?
I think if it hit the elbow, definitely because his arm did move. I think Lindelof was super lucky that
I
it
think he
hit
got away with it.
hand. Yeah, yeah, I think it could have been given, but I also could see why VAR did it because it hit his hand, which if it didn't, if his hand wasn't there, it would have just hit his hip. But the way he's moved his elbow out, you
That's what I was
know,
gonna say because the
it
hand
hit that
was
part.
tucked in, but then he moved it out, so it looks like he's actually deliberately doing to block the
Yeah,
block the
but
cross.
the lucky thing for him was the part of the arm that he moved out. That's not where the ball touched. It
Mm.
still touched the part where his hip was behind it.
The
I think he's very
inside, yeah.
lucky because it
Mm,
wasn't intentional. At the end of the day, he didn't intentionally mean it to touch the hand. It was by luck it touched the hand, and it was
mm,
by luck his hip was still behind it. If it hit any other part past the wrist, 100%.
mm.
It's as clear as you can get. He's moved his arm out to make a bigger silhouette. So it's really, really lucky.
I mean, yeah, probably wouldn't you wouldn't complain if it was given. So that's one of those.
The
But,
first thing was done right this season.
agree.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, agree. But in terms of obviously Liverpool, I mean,
You agreed,
five.
did you say?
Sorry.
I'm surprised you said agreed.
Um, what do you mean? No, sorry. What do you mean, Stuart? Sorry, you confused
Yeah,
me.
I
I was
said the
thinking of the
Smiths
question.
like to at was
No, no,
did
I don't. I don't agree with the decision. No, no. I was thinking of the question. So but in terms of obviously Liverpool, that's what 5 wins in a row. Closing the gap on United. Does put a bit of pressure on them.
Yeah,
It gives them a bit more belief and a bit more chance, don't you think?
yeah, and a lot of those games I think have been at home. That's the key.
Yeah,
So it'd be interesting to see the last few games away from home. But yeah, they're confident. They're not still not 100% convincing. But we did predict this.
yeah.
We predicted after Van Dijk being sat on his ass, that he's gonna perform, and that's he played with heart yesterday, and he was sprinting and running, and he made sure that it was happening. And
Well, he got the assist. He
and
got the assist for the Salah goal. Yeah.
he
So
got the assist back. He played with more motivation than he has been, and it just shows how much he's been coasting all
mm.
season. As soon
only
as time he's performed well is when there's been heavy criticism.
yeah. Only thing I was gonna say is if you look at their fixture, even their fixture is quite favorable to them because they got 3 games left, 2 away. Both the away games are against Leicester and Southampton, but the home game against Aston Villa. So you could see them because Southampton last game of the season that could pretty much be Southampton gone down already, so demotivated, nothing to play for. And then obviously Leicester will be the one. Um, and Aston Villa at home, as much as good as obviously Aston Villa are doing at the moment, I think at Anfield they'll probably win that.
Yeah. I mean, they could win out, which we said we questioned because of their defense, but they're outscoring the opposition, and that's all that counts at the end. Um, but I don't know. Still not confident. I thought Brentford uh, tested them, looked good. It wasn't the most convincing performances from
No, no,
Liverpool, but this was the first game where it felt like Liverpool were playing smart, as in they weren't going gun ho like they normally do
yeah,
to get second and third goal. They were playing with some security and defensive shape and some organization. So yeah, maybe they figured it out that you can't just keep blowing it, trying to blow away teams because you end up making the game harder for yourself
yeah.
by giving opposition chances. But yeah, definitely. They're on a good run.
Let's move on, Adil, to Chelsea. First win for Frank Lampard. I mean, we thought he's going to be 007, but it seems like, he got rid of the curse and won the game against Bournemouth. I mean, Bournemouth could have jumped above them. Seems like that competition kind of spurred them on to go on and win.
I don't know. I'll be honest. It was a smash and grab in that second half. They got they
I'm,
got
I'm just I'm just hyping it up, Lou.
they got totally pummeled by Bournemouth in that second half. They started the game well. They took the lead, and then Bournemouth took over the game until the last 10 minutes. And I think, yeah, give credit to Lampard. He made changes, but I don't know how much is tactical of the changes that he made. I think it was more the quality of the bench that he had that made the difference
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he brought Ziyech on,
I
and
think it's
when
one.
they were 2-1 up, then they got but Ziyech and Sterling really changed the game,
Mm,
and it was that added threat from those two players that just gave them the spark they needed. And up until that point, Bournemouth, I mean, they had so many chances, kept up, made quite a few crucial saves. But that second half was all Bournemouth. And then suddenly, last 10 minutes, the changes he made um, got Chelsea out of jail. But
mm.
the performance is worrying, getting outplayed by Bournemouth, that's a worry. I think, I suppose winning the game would make a difference and still build some confidence into the team. But yeah, I mean, Madueke played well again, and you know, the, they look like he looks like he's putting more energy into that starting lineup. Players who are gonna work and run and put effort off the ball, and
Yeah.
seems like that's the number one.
Finally put Benoit Bernardashli back into the squad again, so that was a good thing. Because I don't know, we both said it right previously when he played, he was one of their better players in defense. So finally done that, but definitely I would say it's a positive for them. Maybe look to finish in top 10. That'd be a positive end to what would you say a really rubbish season.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they doesn't matter. The narrative for this season is already written.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and I don't know how much of any difference it makes because, Lampard ain't there next season. Whatever he does now has zero relevance to anything that's going to go on in the summer. And yeah, I mean, if it is Pochettino, they're better off announcing it and getting Pochettino in the door, doing whatever he needs to do, making decisions in the background because it don't matter if it undermines Lampard. Let's be honest, you're playing for nothing. You've got nothing to bring.
Yeah.
But he's better off having conversations with Lampard and trying to get
Well,
things moving a bit quicker because ultimately, you know, they're wasting time.
yeah. No, that's what I was gonna say. Or even, I mean, leave Lampard for the season like you are, but at least announce it and get Pochettino in around that training complex so he can see what he's got within the squad. So he can draw out and really make a plan of who he wants to get rid of, who he wants to keep, and what the plan is for next season. Even though he'll have an idea, but it's better to obviously look at face value, right?
Yeah, yeah. And maybe build some relation with your key players, the leaders, the vision, get some positivity going. But I don't know. Let's see. I mean, like I said, the way this Chelsea operates, it's a bit hard to understand how they're going to do things. But
I think there's a work permit dilemma, like usually happens on Football Manager where it gets delayed. I think that's what's happening with Bowley and Mauricio Pochettino.
okay, maybe.
No, no, I just made that up. It happens in FM.
Local managers, local managers. I don't know. Let's see. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think it's totally irrelevant.
Yeah.
Totally irrelevant because you can see Lampard's playing players that are, a bit more of a British school, and they're gonna the old guys are gonna give a bit more effort. But I don't know how many of them are gonna be the ones that Pochettino plays.
mm. I mean, I would say talk about relegation, but I mean most of the relegation big games are happening tomorrow with Fulham playing Leicester, and you got Brighton against Everton and Nottingham Forest against Southampton. I mean, we already said Southampton are pretty much down, but I think for Nottingham Forest it's a massive game, right? Because they have to get that 3 points being at home.
Yeah, and the fixtures they have after that are tough. So definitely, this is the one where if they get a result, it'll set them up to go for it for the next few and maybe pick up a few more. But if they lose here or don't get 3 points, it just puts so much pressure on those last few games where they're playing, well, I think, all the big teams.
All the big teams, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely a huge game for Nottingham Forest, and yeah, even Leicester Fulham, that's a huge game for Leicester. All the games are huge, because right now, a win is a knockout blow, like West Ham did today. It's kind of made them out of reach,
Mm.
uh, and they can really focus on the conference, semi-final a bit more. So definitely, yeah, the results are huge. The teams they're all winnable at the end of the day.
They
They're
three of
all
them
winnable teams.
three of them are sitting on 30 points and one on 29. Do you think out of the or 4 games left for most of them for Leeds 3 games, is 4 points enough? Maybe do you reckon to stay up, getting four
No,
points out of the last four?
no, I think I think you need minimum 6, 7.
Mm,
For the team that stays up, 6 or 7. Definitely. I can't imagine. Maybe 36 might do it.
yeah, it's looking tough. It's looking tough. I'm trying to work out where each team might get the points that they require. And
Yeah,
it's
but this is the time when funny results happen, isn't
very
it?
difficult. Yeah.
Those teams at the bottom, there's always one or two or at least one that gets a bit of form and
Yeah.
starts beating teams they shouldn't. So it could happen. Let's see.
So
Uh,
the games for Nottingham Forest, they've got Southampton, then Chelsea away, Arsenal at home, and finishing off with Crystal Palace away. For Leicester, they got Fulham away, Liverpool at home, Newcastle away, and then West Ham at home. Then
yes.
you've got for Everton, Brighton away, Man City at home, Wolves away, and then finishing off Bournemouth at home. So it,
And
um,
Leeds,
and Leeds, Newcastle at home, West Ham away, and Spurs at home.
yeah, it's hard to predict, man. That's a hard
Because
one.
they all got people that they can potentially beat. They also got people that are
They
also
shouldn't
fighting in
be.
other things or in like European competition. They're looking to. So
It actually sounds more even than I thought. I just had it in my mind that Nottingham Forest had the worst running out of the lot, but they
yeah,
all kind of.
I think if
So
they
basically, this Monday's games are the games that are most winnable for each of them. I think right now.
yeah.
So a lot I think a lot of momentum is riding on
I think
Monday's.
if Nottingham Forest get a result against Southampton, I can potentially see them beating Crystal Palace on the last day because Palace will be on the beach already. And potentially give themselves a chance to stay
I
up.
don't know. I don't know. Like I said, Roy Hodgson teams, they're very difficult. They're always motivated every game,
Yeah.
and they like playing on the counter. So if a team has to come at them and really attack, it suits them. So I don't know. I think they'll need to get results somewhere else.
I mean, that's all we had for today, guys. Yeah. I mean, we both hoping for Nottingham Forest to stay up, but that's why we talk a lot about them. But for those of you watching, thank you for watching. As always, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.